Good morning, beautiful souls. And as we enter yet another week, let's look at the elemental messages. So let's start with our fire babies. So we're looking at Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So let's see, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius for our fire babies. What is coming up this week? What is beneficial for our fire babies to be aware of? Okay, it's the first one. Okay. Fire babies for the week ahead. Fire babies for the week ahead. Okay, interesting. Fire babies have 3 major cards and an ace, so it looks like a pretty big week for our fire babies. So starting with Lovers, moving into Justice, moving into the Hangman, moving into the Ace of Cups. So fire babies, overall theme for you guys is going to be relationships and love, basically, and what are you giving, what are you receiving. So the connection, the coming together, the balance that you have in your life, looking at things from a different point of view than you would normally. Maybe you feel a little bit stuck in your relationships. If that's the case, this is sort of indicating that there'll be a flow more towards the end of the week. So starting with our Lovers card, which is the connections and the coming together. So that's what this is talking about. And what is it that matters about the connections and coming together for you this week? It's the fairness. It's the fairness, it's the balance, it's what you consider to be fair and equal. And that also speaks to whether you're playing your part in that, right? So whether you are playing your part in being fair and equal. So you get back what you give out. So how much are you putting in? What are you giving back? This here is where we take a different point of view, where we're looking at from a different perspective here. Or we might feel a little bit stuck in where we are. And then as you move towards the end of the week, it's more about flow, right? Notice that the hand is coming forward. So it's definitely more about the flow and what you're giving. So fire babies, pay attention to your relationships this week. Are they fair and equal? Are you being fair and equal within them? And how can you move to a place of flow? So have a look at, rise above the situation, if you will, and have a look into how you can best flow. Like have a look at where those blockages and what have you may be for you. That's what I would be saying for our beautiful fire babies. So moving on, we are moving into our water babies. So our water babies are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. What is it for our water babies this week? What is it for our water babies this week that they would benefit from knowing? How can they move through their life this week with flow and grace? Water babies, water babies, water babies. Okay, let's see, water babies. Okay, water babies. For you, it's going to be about lots of balance in the air. This one is we have the Six of Pentacles, so the balance is here. Okay, so this is very much about what you are giving and receiving. We're then followed by the Star. So the Star says that, yep, we want to be out there, yep, we want to be on the center stage, if you will, and also that there's this feeling of being vulnerable because the Star is actually naked, which speaks to the vulnerability. But the really cool thing about the Star that I'm usually drawn to is the foot here, which is on top of the water. So it's very consciously working through emotion this week. And how are you committing emotionally? What are you putting in emotionally? Do you feel that your emotional needs are being met? So water babies are going to be very much checking out the lay of the land in regards to that for themselves. Now there may be some situations that water babies may actually walk away from, and we have that here by the Five of Swords. So this card also, the metaphor that comes to mind when I see this card is very much pick and choose your battles. So pick and choose your battles. Now that includes the bullshit stories that you tell yourselves, water babies. So what is it you're actually telling yourselves, and how much of that story is actually true? Because you might be best if you actually just walk away from that stuff, right? So the swords represent thoughts, beliefs, ideas, how we communicate. The internet, it's very, very fast, fine action, so fine energy rather. So the water babies are going to be working with a lot of this energy that seems a lot faster than maybe they're used to. So, or not so much that they're used to. Water babies tend to be able to pick up a lot of emotion. It's just letting you know that it's coming through faster. So the message for the water babies this week is very much from an emotional point of view, right? What are you working with? How much energy are you putting in? Are you getting that energy back? Are you being met? Are your emotional needs being met? Where do you need to be vulnerable in that? And are there situations, you know, like when emotion does rise in you, you just like pick and choose what you're going to entertain this week is what I would say, and make sure that it does feed you emotionally. Now I know there's no cups in here, so like where am I getting this emotional stuff from? I'm getting it from the water, because on this card there's water, on this card there's water, and on this card there's water, and we're working with water babies, right? So I'm looking at it going, yeah, whilst there's no cups here, there's still emotion present. So how do they need to work with the emotion? It's how they're thinking about it, what they're picking and choose to take on as their own beliefs, what beliefs they're letting go of. So water babies, bit of an emotional week for you guys ahead. Okay, bit of an emotional week, so nothing you couldn't conquer though. Okay, let's move on. We're looking at air babies now. So air is Aquarius, Libra and Gemini. So some of my favorite people are air people. So let's see, Aquarius, Libra and Gemini. Oh, okay, one. Aquarius, Libra and Gemini. What is it that our air babies would benefit from this week? Okay, well, you guys have a bit going on. Okay, we start with the Sun. Sun is my favorite card in the deck, so very much looking at joy. Very much air babies coming from a place of joy, moving through your heart this week, making sure that things are, again, we got balance going on here, so they're very much talking about that. They're also talking about, for our air babies, that, because we have the Ten of Wands here, so the Ten of Wands is this guy here, where he's like carrying, feels like he's carrying all the weight himself, doing all the work himself. So when I see that, because the Wands are about action, it might be time to actually just let go some of that stuff. Maybe you, like the 10 says also that, you know, you're almost there, you're almost there, you're almost there. So complete what you're doing. Make sure you know, air babies, complete what you're doing, whatever it is you're working through. And then it might be time to look at what you've learned, okay, what you've learned in the last, you know, couple of months or so. Or maybe it's looking at actual study or learning something a little different, okay? So air babies, we start with the Sun. We start with the Sun, so very much being open to experiencing lots of joy this week. You might get a few insight hits about the direction that you need to head in. You're very much followed by the Ace of Cups. Now this is brilliant because those two together speak about like birthing new things. So air babies, you may be birthing that new thing and starting that new thing. Now if that's the case, it's going to ask you here that as far as balance is concerned, is that you make sure that you've got everything in order, in line, that you've allowed for all your other needs to be met as well, because what we don't want to do is be overwhelmed. But this card also says that whatever you're birthing here, make sure you finish, because it will be very rewarding at the end once you're actually finished. And this here says that you can look at things very differently, look at things in a light-hearted way, and it may actually bring about the new ideas. So when you finish what it is you're actually doing, right, that's when your new ideas will come through. So that's what air babies are about. Air babies this week are very much about, make sure your heart is open to joy and love and have a bit of fun this week. That's top priority, because that's what it starts with. Make sure also that everything else is all balanced and all in a line. Get all your ducks in a row pretty much when we see the Justice card. It can be about legality, yeah, absolutely. It can also be about documents, and it can also be about just making sure you've got everything in order. And I feel like it's more about making sure you've got everything in order, because the way that you complete the week is again back to that lighthearted space. So air babies, great week for birthing things, great week for introducing new things into your life, providing that you finish them. And if you finish them, they will be well worth the time that you put in. So that is our air babies. Let's look at our earth babies now. Just mix all those cards back up. So earth babies, we have Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. Let's see, what is the week ahead for Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn, our earth babies. The week ahead for our earth babies. Okay, earth babies, earth babies, earth babies. Okay, here we go. Wow. Okay. Lots of things going on for our earth babies. Okay, again, everything's about the heart space and about balance this week, so for everybody. So big overall energetic themes, right? So we start with the Ace of Cups, which is a beautiful card to start with. It's about the love, the birthing, the abundance, the gifts, starting with that, and then it's followed by the Empress. So earth babies very much also potential here to have birthed something and then be nurturing it. So it's very much about nurturing the thing that you've been doing or wanting to do. Make sure you absolutely nurture that, because that's what the Empress does. She's full of abundance too, so very much about abundance and fertility, but what it means is that whatever you've birthed will grow, okay, providing that you look after it. Now this is followed by the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man here, I take a completely different view on than I did the other cards, because it's followed by the Seven of Swords. Now the Seven of Swords can speak to lies, betrayal, theft, that kind of thing, but it's also taking back what is rightfully yours. Okay, so to me, this here, looking at our earth babies, it's saying, yep, we need to start the week nurturing ourselves, nurturing those around us, making sure that whatever we've birthed, whatever ideas we've had, whatever we've been working on, that we allow that time to grow. And if we nurture it, it absolutely will grow. And to take back what is ours, to allow and add to what is going to grow. That's what I'm getting here. So the Hangman, kind of midweek, you guys might kind of stop a little bit and do some reassessing and go, actually, no, I want to take that back, that piece is mine. You might, quietly choose to leave a situation is the other thing. This is here, taking what is rightfully yours, is the sense that I have. Make sure, earth babies, that you don't get caught up in a world of control this week, because the Emperor, which is how this one ends, speaks very much about control, dictatorship, that kind of thing. So you might be wanting to move away from the dictatorship, and if you haven't moved away from your own self-dictator, then you might want to have a look at that and become accept yourself a little more in that role, letting that dictatorship go, because that's not the way forward for you guys. It's not the way forward for anybody anymore. So this here is very much saying, come from your heart space, nurture yourself, stop, take a look from above, leave behind what is not yours, and definitely take what is yours. That's what I'll be saying. Move away from the dictatorship, guys. So I hope this makes sense for you. Pop your comments below. I would love to hear all about it. So that is our elemental reading for this week. Have an incredible day, and I will catch you beautiful souls next time. Big, big love.